In this video, I'll introduce the Quartz Open Framework and provide you tips on becoming a Quartz product professional. The Quartz Open Framework is the only open source product management framework designed specifically for technology teams. And the Quartz Open Framework was created by dozens of product leaders. It's a framework focusing on enabling teams to achieve business results through practical tools and a common language. In a 2020 survey, 47% indicated that process was the biggest challenge for product management in their company. And in a similar survey, the top issues in product: ad hoc lifecycle process, ill-defined product innovation process, inconsistent process for managing portfolio. Process is a big deal. And that's why for so many teams, products get released through individual heroics. Today, you have to plot your own path with little to guide you. But we need a technique. We need more than a cocktail napkin. We need a way of going from idea all the way to market and creating an excellent product that's embraced by the market. And it's not factory work. This is creative. This is being able to understand what people are saying to you and turning them into the myriad artifacts that are necessary to build a great product. And in recent years, we've seen a lot of effort on the middle. I mean, we need a way to go from discover to deliver, but all the effort seems to be in describing and creating. You know, we've got myriad methods: design thinking, story mapping, Scrum, SAFe. Most methods today are centered on the center. We also need to think about what are the best practices in discovery and delivery. What about the before and after? How do you discover ideas? How do you successfully deliver those ideas to your market? What is your process? And in fact, simply having a formal process is itself a best practice. Edwards Deming, the foremost expert in quality manufacturing, said, "If you can't describe what you're doing as a process, you don't know what you're doing." So how would you describe your product process? The most common things we hear are ad hoc and inconsistent. So if your process isn't achieving its desired outcomes, then it's time to change your process. High-growth organizations are twice as likely to have and use standard deliverables in their process. So we've developed this framework for helping you identify what are your steps, what is your process. So what's a minimum viable process? I mean, if you could just do the barest of minimums, I mean, the smallest amount of work, you'd probably start with customer interviews. Go interview some customers, figure out what's going on with them, identify some problems you want to solve. Then create a business canvas that articulates in one page what we're trying to do for this client or this kind of client. Then we'll do a backlog of stories. We'll write down all these scenarios that we want to address, and then use Kanban or some other planning method to track the progress of those stories through our creation process. Then we'll have a launch plan so we can get it into the market, and then some form of sales playbook to empower our sales team to succeed with this product. And then you do it all over again. A more complex example is this one that we developed for an enterprise SaaS organization. You can see there's 4 or 5 things in each one of those phases. And this is the method that I use in my workshops, starting with isolating problems and personas, calculating an opportunity score, creating a product vision canvas, and then briefing our executive teams to get the go-ahead to move to the next step. Once we've got their commitment, we need to perform market validation, develop a financial model, clarify success criteria, and create probably a business plan. Next, we describe what we've learned in the market to our create team with personas and problems, prioritize problems to solve, and a roadmap of our initiatives. And that will be the basis of a briefing for the technical teams. And so the create team begins working. We've defined our success criteria. We'll use Kanban to prioritize the work. We'll formalize the discovery and acceptance ceremonies. We'll minimize interference and change. Meanwhile, we need to deliver to the market. So we want to align our launch with market rhythms, determine the launch activities, use Kanban again for prioritized work related to the launch plan, and then brief our go-to-market teams. Having done that, we're ready to connect with the market. And while the sales and marketing team connects with the market, we're monitoring market feedback. We're monitoring achievement of our success metrics. We're performing win-loss analysis. And at the end of it all, we perform a process retrospective. And that's the no chaos process. What's your process? Well, write down all the things you're doing, all the activities, all the ceremonies, all of the artifacts, and it's a big list. But everything you're doing should ultimately fit into one of these frameworks. And so you're able to define your playbook based on the activities you're performing today and the structure provided by the Quartz Open Framework. The key is we start by discovering problems. And there may be a number of artifacts that you create in that category, but then we'll commit to solve them with some form of business artifact. Then we'll describe them with a more technical, story-based form. We'll build solutions, we'll prepare the organization to deliver that solution to market, and then we'll connect with the market through our sales and our marketing programs. And then we'll do it all again. The goal ultimately is to turn good ideas into successful products systematically. Do you have a process for success? The Quartz Open Framework helps you get there. That's the Quartz Open Framework, a structure to define your process. You should now be ready to take your certification exam based on what I've shared here, as well as your lifetime of experience. So go to quartzopen.com/certification information and become a certified product professional.